T'es pas cozy?
But c'est toi qui t'assis sur. You're the one that's sitting on the great big beanbag. I'm sitting here on a pile of stuffed animals.
Listen, some people would pay a lot of money to ride a bear.
Welcome to Dear God.
Episode 7. It's the holy number.
Lucky number 7, seventh heaven.
I am Selma Gahd, your motivational monster.
And I am Gahd from Canada's Drag Race Season 5. And I am your unofficial auntie, so you know the advice is going to be questionable.
How are you, Uma? What's going on?
I'm doing really good. I feel like we had a few little long whiles of like the horrors.
Yes.
And while they do persist, because as the internet has pointed out, the horrors do persist. We've gotten some really fun news recently, but due to time traveling, because we don't know when this and then
the other things
and then the other things because. Yeah, so we don't know, but so we're gonna keep it vague.
Yes, we're gonna keep it vague,
but
tantalizing.
Ooh. Titillating.
Titillating? Not today.
Not today. So, we've been getting some really great news. We've got some really fun projects that are coming up, and I'm feeling very, very like fulfilled. I've been doing my daily tarot card pulls.
Yeah.
And the last couple that I got the 8 of Wands, which was basically like, good things are coming. You're fast track, just kind of like go. And then I got the Empress, which is like, lush, luxury, abundance, giving, just all kinds of, so I was just kind of like, okay, the universe is telling me that yes, things are actually aligning. We've got really, really, really fun stuff coming up. You've got real big news.
Yes. Really big news that I can't share yet because it's not public and it might be by the time this comes out. But if it is, check my socials and you'll know all about it.
She's not on Drag Race.
Well, I wouldn't be telling you that.
Or is she? Dun, dun, dun.
But yes, I am very excited. Like you said, the horrors keep horroring. Ooh, that almost came like another word.
It came like another.
That was the joke. Yes, you got it. Good job. Layers. Welcome to our cozy little corner here at the Saint Motel. We decided this episode to just, snuggle up, get nice and cozy, and share some advice. I was going to say around the campfire, but we're not doing a fire. No fires in Saint Motel.
Please. No, we decided we're gonna use here our cuddly, cozy, stuffy corner. So that's why we've also got our cozy PJs on,
our hoodies and our Crocs.
Hoodies and Crocs. It's not sponsored, but it could be.
So Uma, before, actually, in today's episode, we're gonna talk about procrastination.
We'll do that later.
So before we talk about procrastination, Uma, what was your delight this week?
My delight this week was I was on Twitter and Brooklyn Heights posted a really great video of herself performing, and she did what I call the Toronto handstand.
Yes.
Which is when they flip up backwards and then they put their heels up on the wall and then they like seductively squirm against the wall while doing a handstand. But when I retweeted this video because I was remembering the time that Bombay came to Montreal.
Yes, for my show Coven.
Yes, for your show Coven. So Bombay came to our show and she went to go do the Toronto handstand, even though she knew that there was no wall behind the curtain. There was like a passage behind the curtain. So she went to go do the handstand against the wall. There's no wall. So she just slipped between the two curtains, disappeared silently, and in the back of the room where the bar is, you can right before she does it, you can hear me scream, "Bombay, no!"
She did not get hurt.
No.
And we knew she knew there was a passage because she went behind there like 10 times before the show started. So, that's on you, Bombay.
But so the memory of, and there she was, gone, it was my delight for the week. It was such a wonderful moment. And the thing is that Bombay and well, all of us, we really enjoy kind of like ragging on each other. It's one of our shadier relationships. She's always really mean to us, and then we're really mean back.
She's mean to you.
She's mean to me. She's mean to me.
Don't drag me into your drama.
But we're always like just, we're always having a good time, and so getting to laugh at her for that was my delight for the week. But I know that as soon as she realizes that I reminded everyone of that, she's going to say something mean about me on the internet.
My delight for the week, we ran out of tea. I love tea. Tea's like my little cozy thing. It makes me feel good, makes me happy. And we're due to place a new order with our friend Robin at Thesaurus Tea. But in the meantime,
that's thesaurustea.com. Ding!
Check out the Oh My God tea. It's purple! But in the meantime, I was completely out of tea. So I just went to the grocery store and got like plain like orange pico. And I made myself a cup of tea, and it was luxurious because I put cream in it instead of just milk. I put a little bit of cream, a little bit of sugar, and it made me really happy. So this week, every day when I was about to go work, and when you have to do the things that you don't want to do, and you procrastinate, I made myself tea and made everything a little bit better.
She said, before I go to work, I like to put cream in my tea. Rich.
Listen, it's 10%, okay? Not that rich.
I don't think, because our friend Trana Winter, she's been on Celebrity Big Brother Quebec and on The Traders Canada, and she's a really well-known, well-established stand-up comedian here in Montreal.
And she's blocked by Madonna.
She apparently Googled, and her net worth is estimated to be $2 million.
Yes, Trana Winter, yes.
Famously, Trana Winter, who famously likes to go, thrift shopping and buys like $5 Funko Pops of her nostalgia stuff from like TV shows when she was 6. Famously, $2 million. So I don't think I'm famous enough that if I Google it, I will have a net. I don't think I have a net worth yet. I don't know if I'm worth it.
I mean, who knows? Let's do it now. No, we're not doing it now. We're not doing it now. Okay, so
you can do it. Tell me how much I'm worth. Go find out.
Someone do the math. Before we share our wisdom, I do have to tell you something, folks. These drag queens are not qualified in any way whatsoever to be giving you advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Take it with a grain of salt, but do enjoy it, and let us know if it works out for you. Thank you.
Don't sue me.
Don't. Tell me how to live.
That's the whole point of the podcast.
Dang it. So as I said, we're going to talk about procrastination today, but before we get to that, let's warm up a little bit. Here at Dear God, we like to serve you a 3-course meal of advice and answers from your aunties. And today to warm up, Uma, we have the very first question, which is, Dear God, why do I say sorry and I apologize so often? We both know the answer to this one.
Well, so you tell them.
You're Canadian.
And if you're
Trademark Canadian.
If you're not Canadian, that's cultural appropriation. No,
Yep. Shame.
So yes, as Canadians, we don't actually know where you're from because all of these questions are anonymous. But as Canadians, we do know something about saying sorry far too often.
We apologize to inanimate objects. Like that's how the Canadians are. We walk around, we bump into a counter, and we apologize to the countertop for bumping into it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're either Canadian or you're a people pleaser. If you're not Canadian, maybe you say you're sorry out of insecurity. Or maybe you say you're sorry because you did something wrong. I don't know what the situation is.
If you did something, you should probably apologize.
Yeah. Are you saying like you're apologizing all the time? Like at work? Are you just walking around going, sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry. Is that what's happening?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
This is true. So, you know what? I feel like if you're walking around apologizing all the time, you need to maybe work a little bit on self-confidence, because I doubt that you're constantly doing things wrong. Like there's not a universe in which all of us are walking around all the time bothering everybody and doing everything wrong. So I think if you feel the need to apologize nonstop, maybe you need to feel a little more secure in yourself. Maybe you need to feel a little more confident.
I think, so I think that confidence is definitely something like you have to work on that if it is an insecurity thing. But it also might just be that you're doing it without realizing it. Like you just kind of, you know, the way that a lot of people say or like or like it's a filler word. And so anytime that you kind of like notice yourself, you say, oh, sorry. Or anytime anyone mentions anything to you and you realize that you are perceptible, like you are perceivable, you can be perceived, you're like, oh, sorry. And you don't realize you're saying it. So maybe take some of the pressure off of yourself and stop making it about your self-worth. Because when we try to when we try to stop saying filler words, and we all say them.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just that some of them stand out a lot more depending on how you talk and what the word is and in what scenarios is it popping up in. But I'm sorry, just it is one that people have to pay attention to. So like that's why they notice it and it's why you notice it. So I think like any word that you're just trying to move on from, I think it would be good for you to take the pressure off and realize that it's just a noise that you're making. Like it could be anything else in the world and you wouldn't feel bad about it, but because it's the words I'm sorry, it's a very loaded verbal, tick to have. So I think take the pressure off, realize it's just a noise that you're making. It's not a big deal. If you say it, it's not a big deal. But if you don't say it, it also probably, the world won't end because you didn't say sorry.
Facts. I think there's only one time I can think in which saying you're sorry like that could be dangerous, and that's in the American courts, if I'm not mistaken, because it's an admission of guilt. In the Canadian court, because we actually apologize all the time, that's not admissible because of the way we speak. It's actually... Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember looking this up. In Canadian courts, if you say, I'm sorry, it's not an admission of guilt. But in the U.S., it is. Cultural differences affect all the way to our legal system. Isn't that crazy?
That is a little bit crazy. But so there you go. I think that, you just be a little bit more confident in that. I said it in another episode. You have to remember that the people around you might like you more than you like yourself. So you don't have to apologize. Even if you feel like crud, these are people who are choosing to associate with you. So don't worry. Just let it go. Let go and let God.
Don't worry.
Be happy. Don't worry. Don't be sorry, baby.
Is that a summer song? In my head, it's a summer song.
Well, it's because it's reggae, so it's kind of like it's island, sunny, beachy vibes.
Because Quebec has a very particular relationship to music, and there's certain songs that become like beach party songs, even though they're not.
Yes.
Like, hey, hey, baby, ooh, ha. That's a Quebec summer song.
I feel like it is everywhere.
It is? Okay.
I just don't think it's as popular as it is here.
Oh, fair. It's a cultural thing here.
Yeah, here it's like a staple. It's like you don't sing happy birthday to people here. You sing that song.
I'm just going to check this camera because I feel like I bumped it. Okay, we're good.
As Luxaria would say, beat.
Oh, we're so gorgeous. Oh, hi. Okay, sorry about that. Well, that was a nice little warm-up. Are you ready for your meat and potatoes?
Absolutely.
Or, as classy people say, your main course.
You'll notice that we don't call it an appetizer and or whatever. I don't remember, because we are in a francophone province.
Yes.
And so
words have meanings here. Words have meanings.
So having your entree be your main makes no sense to us, because entree means entrance, like when you enter. When you enter, it's not going to be the second thing that you do.
No, it's the entrée. L'entrée is your first course.
Exactly. The entree is an appetizer in French. And yes, I get it. Language is different, culture, blah, whatever. But that's why why we always start with the starter and then we go to the main.
Yes.
Because we're not doing this nonsense of like, which is it?
This one is about relationships. Ooh. Specifically bisexicals.
Okay, so when a man and a woman or another man or another woman or several other people love each other very much or
they're all non-binary.
Or they're non-binary or they have just met on a darkly lit dance floor or they're at Home Depot or
yeah, so one of those people has a question for us.
Okay.
Are you ready? This one's a little long, so pay attention, okay, Uma? If you need a break while I'm reading it, let me know.
Okay.
Hi, mothers. I'm in a bit of a predicament here. I have been dating my boyfriend for 3 years. Okay. He is absolutely husband material. Everyone around me says so. He's so great, and if I mess it up, then I'm a terrible person. Our parents have since become great friends, and I actually work with his mom. I'm bisexual. My boyfriend knows this and knows that I've not really experienced women sexually before. Am I a terrible person for wanting to explore with other people? Okay, layers. We're having a banana pea trifle.
A layer of custard, strawberry jam, and ladyfingers with a layer of sauteed peas and onions with another... I don't think that this is going to be that painful.
No, I didn't think it was going to be painful. It's just
Okay.
the layers are kind of there.
Yes, there's a lot going on in this one.
Do you want to start or do you want me to go? Because like I said, there's...
So there's just one thing that like stuck out to me. No, well, not one, but the one thing that I was like, wait, did you mean this the way that you said it? Is that all of your friends tell you that he's a great guy and if you mess this up, you're a terrible person. Why are your friends talking to you like this? Porque why? Huh? Pourquoi? What? Why are... They can be excited. Listen, I'm going to tell you that Selma and I have been together for a very long time. And when I was in college and when I was in high school, I would show up at parties and my friends would be like, oh, hi, Uma's here. Great. Where's Selma? Like in one sentence. And then when Selma would walk in because she had been like parking the car, people would get up out of their seats and start cheering. So I get it when your friends like your partner, but they're your friends. And I feel weird that they're telling you that if you screw it up, you're a terrible person. That's a weird thing to say to your friends. Don't say stuff like that to your friends. Like, unless you're doing something truly heinous, like, that's some weird language to be using. Hopefully you are just being hyperbolic.
Or maybe this is something you feel because like they tell you how great he is all the time and like that's your interpretation of it.
Yes, but then in that case, that's you putting words in other people's mouths and don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, that was just one of the things that I was like, what a strange thing to say.
I get it. It's intense, but feelings can be intense.
Yes.
And that's okay. So for me, there's two parts to this that I feel like need to be addressed separately. I know they're part of the same question, but there's two things that really stand out. And the first thing is about your relationship, like the relationship itself, like in a little vacuum. And the second thing is about sexuality. So I'm gonna start with the relationship part because, like you said, that stuck out to me as well. The whole like the way it was worded. But the other thing for me is I'm gonna ask you this without judgment. I'm gonna ask you this without knowing who you are or what's going on. Are you actually in love and are you actually happy? Because to me, the way this question is worded and how much emphasis was given on the context, it's telling me that it's not necessarily just about your bisexuality that you're wondering this relationship, is that your relationship is entangled in your whole life right now. All your friends love him. You work with his mom. Your parents get along. There's so much happening around this relationship that isn't about your relationship that maybe you feel pressured. Maybe you're not unhappy. Maybe he is a great guy. Maybe you are happy. I don't want to make a guess here, but I felt like there's a lot happening emotionally here and that it is quite entangled. So that can be also a little bit messy emotions-wise.
That's a very good point. That's a real good point, how like, yeah, then the relationship is not just your relationship. It's like it's our relationship. And you have to live with the repercussions depending on how this plays out. So yes, that absolutely is worth keeping in mind. So yeah, no, I guess continue.
Okay, yeah. So that's the first part is let's just keep the pin in that because there's nothing I can do with it just yet. It's just we have to remember that part. Now, the second part is about your sexuality. Sexuality is diverse and beautiful. And when we're talking about sexuality and relationships, we live in a society, I'm assuming, I'm going to make a big assumption here, that you live in a society like us that is predominantly monogamous and predominantly sees sex and love as being like the one ultimate goal. You know, it's a one unified mountain to stand on. So when it comes to these feelings that you're having and like this desire to potentially explore, maybe that feels really taboo. Maybe that feels really overwhelming because, like you said, you haven't really explored that much. You haven't really gotten to like know yourself in that way. And now you're questioning like, okay, well, having these desires, does that make me a bad person? Does that mean I don't love my boyfriend? Does that mean I don't respect my boyfriend? So there's a lot happening here. And I think I can just break down the sexuality part to say that having these feelings or these desires does not make you a bad person in any way. Having these desires, having these feelings does not mean that you're weak or that you don't love the person that you're with or anything like that. It's human. It's normal. It's hormones. It's desire. It's so much happening. The thing you need to remember is respecting the person you are in a relationship with. Because a relationship is kind of like having a contract, right? It's not a business contract, but it's saying like, we are choosing to be together in this world. And we are choosing to tackle the world together in a certain way, right? Whether it's living together, supporting each other, being kind to each other. But that relationship can take very many forms. And I think what's really important in this scenario is being honest with the person you're with and communicating that with them and sharing with them. So now, whether you explore that or not is a whole other discussion to have with them. But I think if you're with somebody that you're not able to talk about these things with and you're having these kinds of feelings, maybe this isn't the right person for you. If you feel like you can't talk to them even about it, not even do anything, but just talk to them about it.
Yeah, I think, that as a queer person, and like, so there was some extra notes in the message that we got. So they're relatively young, this person. As a young queer person, there's still navigating that you have to do that you're not going to have a lot of people to like guide you through probably. But as a young queer person, like these are the kinds of conversations that a lot of us end up having. And you have to remember that queer people, we don't live our lives as heteronormative people that those are the goals. Some people do, and that's great. But there is a certain liberty that you get to experience when you already know you live outside of expectations and that they likely will never be reached. You'll never be 100% the picture that people think of when they think of like the happy couple. Happy couple. We're using air quotes here. So these are conversations that as queer people come up where we say, where is our relationship taking us? What are the boundaries that we want to set? How open are the expectations? How flexible are we? Those are all things that we end up talking about. I think especially it's very common in couples where it's two people of the same gender because, there's a good chance that if they're in that scenario, then they are probably both, at least at some point, checking out the same people.
Yes, there's a commonality there.
So they can kind of look at each other and be like,
yes.
Yeah, all right. And so it's not as taboo to say, like, I find this other person attractive because both of you are like, well, yeah, because, like, duh. So I don't know if your partner is queer at all. It didn't sound like it. But this is something that as a queer person who is then therefore in a relationship with a straight person,
Presumably,
you do kind of have to introduce them to the way that queer relationships work. And it can be the way that straight relationships work too. It's just, it's not what the expectation is. So he's not necessarily expecting these kinds of conversations. And those conversations can be just admitting, hey, I'm bisexual. Hey, I want you to know that sometimes I think about other people, whatever. How does that make you feel? But also it can be right up to like, am I allowed to do anything about it? What's the game plan? Do you need to be included? Do you want to let me do it without, is it don't ask, don't tell, So these are all conversations that he doesn't know, unfortunately, are part of being in a relationship with a queer person, because that's the way things can go.
Well, I mean, maybe this person's in a relationship with a gay. Maybe this person's a queer person in love with a gay man, and they're attracted to women.
Yes, absolutely.
That's also like they might actually be queer. The man that the boyfriend might actually be queer. We don't know.
Yes.
So we're making assumptions here. Just if this is not accurate, take what parts are accurate.
Not assumptions.
Humans are complex and confusing creatures. I was perfect, okay?
No assumptions. Don't assume. It makes an ass. And that's gross. That's how that saying goes.
Yes, absolutely not. I think we just kind of jumbled it all together because like there's a lot happening here. So let's try to clarify real quick. Make sure that this relationship is a relationship that you want. That you're not staying in a relationship that is because it's all encompassing of your life and it's scary to not be in that relationship anymore. Because I don't know if you are happy in this relationship right now. That's my first question for you. Because if you're having all these feelings of exploration, of need, of want, is it because you kind of want to move on and that's like your excuse to get out of it? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's no judgment here. But it's just like from the way you're wording things, that might be something to explore there. And then the second part of this is you as a queer person have things to discuss with your partner, whether they're queer or not. And if they're not queer, you might have more explaining to do, more discussion to be having, and just some introduction to say like, it's not that I don't love you. It's not that I don't care about you. It's not that you're not important to me, but I'd rather be honest with you about the ways that I'm feeling, the things that are happening inside my mind, because we are together and we're sharing a relationship. I don't want to keep a secret from you and have this like awkward gap that feels like we're not actually, you know what? That's what it is for me, is that as queer people, we live a double life often when we're growing up. And we feel like we have to hide a part of ourselves and that means that you don't have authentic, real relationships with people. And I would not want that to be what's happening between you and your partner, because that's the one relationship where you shouldn't have that gap, right? Is that one relationship that should be the person you trust the most, that you feel safe around, that you feel connected with, and that you can share and grow together. So to me, that's the two main things. Is like, one, is that relationship actually something you want right now? Or are you using that as like a reason to like let go of it without disappointing people? And two, navigating queer life.
You said something that I want to touch on, because we're saying that like in a queer relationship, that kind of conversation does come up, and it's something that's a little bit more normalized in our community. But also you were saying, are you looking for an out, and this is kind of it? It's also okay for you to just be someone who is, I'm gonna say window shopping.
Yes.
And then admitting like, hey, sometimes I want to go in the store. Sometimes I want to buy the outfit, because I identify as asexual until like well into my almost my late 20s. And that meant that I didn't have as many experiences as I didn't have a lot of experiences that a lot of my friends had. And then the conversation had to happen of like, okay, what are we gonna do about this? And in our relationship, we set up boundaries and expectations, and just feeling this way, window shopping is not a sign that your relationship is over. It just means that it's a sign that there is something that needs to be discussed. And if you can find a happy medium, if there's concessions that either person is happy to make, then the only way you're going to know is talking about it. Otherwise, you're just going to sit there and be questioning yourself all the time, and then that's going to lead into more like self-doubt in other regards, and it's not a good place to be. Don't do it.
And if you are in a relationship with a straight man currently, and the reason you're apprehending this conversation is because this is so far out of the bounds of your partner's real life, like regular life, and your family's life, like they don't know anything about this queer world, and that's a lot to deal with because everything's entangled. That can be a lot to take on. But
you're not in a relationship with your parents, so this conversation can happen just between the two of you, and if it doesn't go the way that you hope, then okay, this person's entangled in your life in a very big way, but the conversation has to start with them. It's a private thing. You're not dating your parents. I made it weird.
I mean, yeah. It's a situation that's not going to feel great right now. Let's put it this way. It's one of those things that if you do nothing about, it's going to eat at you and make you uncomfortable, make you doubt, make you uncertain. It's going to start becoming all-consuming and become the only thing you can think about, because this isn't just about sexy time. This isn't just about bodies. No, this is something that's inside of you and that is going to be in your brain, and is going to be tickling you nonstop and bothering you at some point. So you need to address this, whether it's internally with your partner. I think that would be ideal for me, because you're in a relationship with this person. Like I said, you should feel comfortable sharing. And if you're not, maybe that's not the right relationship for now.
Isn't the book that everyone needs to read in this scenario, what is it? The Ethical Slut?
Oh, yeah.
So you want to look up ethical non-monogamy. It's a very long series of words that basically it's just something that a lot of people will have a very emotional reaction to, this kind of idea of oh, we're not going to be, you are my everything and I'm the only one and we own each other and that's the way it is. And because that's how it expresses itself so often in the media. So it's a very emotional reaction where people are like, oh my God, I'm not enough for my partner. Oh my God, you're going to leave me. Oh my God, I don't trust you. Oh my God, it means this, that, and the other thing. But if there's something that you can kind of if there's a mental exercise that you can do to kind of loosen that up, it's important, right? Because jealousy is real. And so jealousy, I want to clarify using this word actually.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Envy and jealousy are not the same thing.
Say it here.
Envy and jealousy are not the same thing. Envy is when you want what someone else has. That is envy. You are envious of what they have and you want it. Jealousy, and the reason I'm clarifying this is because sometimes people say, oh, I'm not jealous because they don't want what someone else has. That's not what jealousy is. Jealousy is not wanting other people to have what you have.
Mm-hmm.
That's jealousy. So you don't want your no one else can have your partner because you are jealous. You're a jealous person that doesn't want anyone else to touch them. Not every single, I'm saying.
Yeah, you're hyperbole here.
So you can have a jealous reaction, and sometimes you don't realize why you're feeling jealous, and a lot of people don't realize that it's something that, some people can work through. Some people don't want to. Some people don't need to. It's all kind of there's no one way for any relationship to be. But the whole point is that you have to do the work to understand how your relationship is going to work. What parts of what expectations are you going to work with? What boundaries are you going to set? It's always going to look different from everybody else. So maybe you are someone that's not comfortable with, non-monogamy. Maybe you really only want that. That's fine. But then you need to be with someone who feels that way. And if both people don't feel that way, what does that mean for their relationship? Because some people are going to say, oh, no, it's over. You can't. You can. It just will be more complicated.
Yes, and you have to check in regularly.
Yeah.
You can't have a conversation about all of this and just, we talked about it, we're not talking about it again. This is something you're going to have to bring up regularly and check in with each other. And because trust is built on, it's like a two-way street, right? You trust the person, yes, but if the person comes towards you and talks to you about it and brings stuff up, it doesn't feel like you have to dig to get information from them. So you're going to have this conversation a couple of times. It might evolve, it might not, but do keep talking about it because your relationship is something worth investing in. Your relationship is something worth working on. And I find like a lot of people are so afraid of conflict in relationships that they refuse to have conversations, and then everything just festers. And that's what causes a lot of relationships to fail. It sounds silly, but it's so cliche to say like the success to a relationship is communication. But it really is. You're two human beings that are complex people with feelings and emotions, and you have to learn to talk about these things between each other, and what works for the two of you is going to be different with someone else. The way you talk to your mom is not the same way you talk to your dad. It's not the same way you talk to your sister. It's not the same way you talk to your teacher, because you have different relationships and different dynamics. So take the time to invest in your relationship right now. And also, this all sounds very dramatic, but maybe your partner is going to be into the thing you want to explore, and it's something that you can have fun with together, but you still need to have boundaries. But I'm just saying, don't despair.
Don't despair. Talk, explore within the boundaries that you set for each other, because you should care about each other and each other's happiness.
And if that's not the case, go back to my first point. Maybe you need to reevaluate your relationship.
There we go.
That was a loaded question with a lot of like back and forth, but it is one of the situations where it is complex. There's not just one path to follow, and you have to take a lot of things into consideration. People often want like the solution, but sometimes the solution really is.
It's a process. It's a process.
There we go. Okay. Now that we had like a nice main course that was chunky, let's delight in something a little more light. Let me get my phone for our last question of this episode.
For our dessert.
Ooh. Oh, yes. I forgot about it. Dear gods, how can I break my habit of procrastinating?
Maybe we're not the ones to answer this question.
That's hysterical. I procrastinated and then forgot about it.
I made the joke because I was like, oh, this isn't how it like, but I manifested this. And it became true. Look at my power. My power.
Ooh. Procrastination. Listen, we're talking about vice, the question before. The vice of desire and body. People think that procrastination is laziness. It's not. Always. Procrastination isn't always laziness. It can be, but it's not always. Procrastination can also be because you're overwhelmed. It can be because you don't have energy, because you're tired. There's a lot of reasons for procrastination, and breaking all of those down would take a really long time. So I think what I'm going to do, instead of doing that right now, I'm going to give you one of the tricks that works for me, no matter what kind of procrastination is happening, whether it's because I'm tired, overwhelmed, no matter what it is. One thing that happens when you're procrastinating is that the thought of doing the thing is overwhelming for whatever reason. My trick in that scenario is to give myself another task that brings me joy to set up the thing I'm procrastinating. So I'm not very clear right now. I'm going to give you an example. If I have to like go write an email to somebody to follow up on a show, where I have to do some emails, I have to answer a bunch of emails, and it's overwhelming. And I'm just sitting there in bed going, oh, I have to write these emails. Oh, okay, I'm going to watch one more video. Okay, 10 more minutes. I'm just going to keep doing that. But if I tell myself, you know what, Selma, get up, go make yourself a nice cup of tea, and when it's ready, you can sit down in the chair you really like at home and put the music on that you like, and then you can answer your emails. If I add a step between my thought process and the task I need to do, and it's a task that is active, so I have to get up and make myself tea, once you're moving, it really removes that barrier sometimes. It just breaks down that like mental block that you have, I find anyway. So that's one trick for me, is give yourself a little task to do, like 3, 2, 1, let's go make some tea. 3, 2, 1, let's go have lunch. And right after lunch, doing it, like something like that. That's what helps me the most.
As someone who has been accused of committing an ADHD from time to time, procrastination is basically my love language.
I need to procrastinate more?
I don't know. No, that was...
Uma just said I have to procrastinate.
Nope. But it's something that I do very often because a lot of people, our brains are kind of set up to be now. There's now and there's later. And that's it. And if something can be done later, it's not going to happen now. And you don't realize until the very last minute that now is now. There is no more later. And the deadline is scary, and then you go into a panic, and then it trains your body and your brain to think that a deadline means stress and overwhelm and scaredness and panic and the whole thing. And so then next time you're like, oh God. So sometimes you just have to do it. Personally, brushing my teeth before bed. I could brush my teeth every single morning. I get in the shower. I brush my teeth in the shower sometimes. I brush my teeth when I get out of the shower. It doesn't matter. In the morning, I'll brush my teeth. The second I am in my bed. And the thing is, I get in my bed real early. I'm not going to go to sleep. I'm not going to go to sleep until 3 a.m. I'm in bed at 9
a.m.
Yes. But at the end of the day, my brain is like, if you have to get out of bed and go brush your teeth, the mental load in my mind is basically like my brain is almost imagining it on like a meta level. My brain is imagining that the amount of energy it's going to take is going to be equal as if I had to roll out of bed and without using my legs, I had to drag myself by my fingernails to the washroom. And then I would have to hoist myself up onto the counter. And then without using my legs to hold myself up, I'm going to have to prep my toothpaste and then brush my teeth. In my head, that's how much effort it's going to take. And the only way my brain stopped, and I really had to commit to doing this for like almost 2 years, and I'm still not perfect. The only way my brain got over that idea was that I forced myself to do it, and I paid attention to how long it would take me. I was like, it's not going to be that hard. It's not going to take me that long. That's another trick for some people is like setting a timer and trying to do things before the timer is up. And
doing as much as you can.
Doing as much as you can.
Yeah.
So like, if you set a 10-minute timer, you don't finish cleaning your room, but you notice how much you get done in 10 minutes. So like, that's a trick for a lot of people. But for me, it was for like really committing to doing it as often as I could to realize that doing it consistently, doing it before the deadline, doing it, blah, 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 was actually less mental load, less physical labor than delaying. Speaking of timers, though, the other procrastination tip that I have is the 2-minute rule. That one has changed me.
You are a new woman.
And I am a woman who does everything that takes less than 2 minutes right away. That's it. The 2-minute rule is if you have to do something and it will take you less than 2 minutes to finish, to do it 100% done, you do it right away. So that means that like when I finish eating, if I'm sitting in bed and I finish what I'm eating, sometimes I'll say, okay, I'm not doing it right now, because I'm watching a TV show. But once it's done, because there's a time on that, but I'm not going to leave it to the ephemeral, I'll do it later. No. I tell myself when I'm going to do it, and then when it's that time, I do it because it takes less than 2 minutes. I take my stuff to the kitchen, put it in the dishwasher, come back, and it takes me like maybe 40 seconds. So it took less than 2 minutes. I did it right away. So the only reason that you don't do things if it takes less than 2 minutes is if it's going to be stopping you from doing what you need to get done right now.
Yeah, if you're using it as an excuse to do other things.
Yeah, so like the example that I read online was somebody who said like every single time I would get an email, I would stop whatever I was doing and I would answer the email immediately because it would take me less than 2 minutes. But you can't do that because then you're never going to get the big job done because you're going to spend all of your time answering your emails. So you can't do that. You do have to think about these things a little bit. But basically, the 2-minute rule, if it can get done in 2 minutes, you do it essentially right away. You do it as soon as you possibly can. in those 2 minutes. And again, like I said in the first point, realize how much you can get done in 2 minutes. Because sometimes you think something's going to take you an eternity. That's the way your brain feels. And then you realize, oh, it literally took me 27 seconds.
Actually, yeah, that's true.
So those are my procrastination tips. Hope that helps. Later.
I think one last thing to wrap all that up, that like just what I said and what you said made me think of, is another good trick is build some habits. I know that for people that have ADHD or even just neurotypical people, having habits can help you not procrastinate. If you're like, for example, your routine is I get up at 9 a.m. At 10 a.m. I check my emails. I said if.
No.
If your routine is I get up at 9 a.m., I make myself my cup of tea and I have my breakfast, which is toast. And then after that, I check my emails. Once my emails are done, then I do this. It doesn't have to be all like super precise, but just having a routine like that. That way, a lot of things that people procrastinate on, like answering emails, making appointments, brushing your teeth, all the little things, if you have a routine, they no longer take space up in your brain. You're no longer thinking like, oh, I have to answer the email. Oh, I have to remember I can't forget to do this. Oh, I can't forget to call my mom back. I can't forget to call the dentist. I can't forget to. If you have a routine where you do all these things at set times in the day, you know you're going to take care of them tomorrow when you get up. So you don't have to think about it all evening. That's the thing that can help, is just building some routines.
If the person has ADHD, that's not how that works.
Well, you say that, but during the pandemic, you were super happy because you had your routine and it helped you
because nothing else ever interrupted that routine. So that's the hard part.
Yes, but I'm just saying it can help. I'm not saying it's the end all be all, but if you're able to set some routines, even if it's just one routine, it takes off mental load.
So my routine during lockdown was like I would wake up at 9:30 because the sun would come in through the window and wake me up. And then I would stay in bed probably until about 10:30. Then I would get up, take my shower, eat breakfast. And breakfast was like always just, because I had the time. So breakfast for me was like a cute little charcuterie board. And I would set up my little YouTube video and I had 30 minutes to eat. I would put on a 30-minute video and that was the end of it. Then I would do one chore. One chore was the guarantee of the day. So it was like do all of the laundry that I need to do right now. Or do the dishes, or water the plants, or whatever. Like sweep, mop, whatever it needs to be. But I picked the one chore for the day. And then everything else could kind of like move around as I needed, because there's always more things that needed to get done. But if you just kind of, when Selma says a routine, it's not like regiment every single moment of your life. You'll never remember it. You'll feel like crap, and then you'll never do it again. But pick one major thing that you know is like, I can handle that one thing, and it's going to be part of my routine.
Every Monday, I do the laundry.
Yeah.
Like whatever it is. And as you build these up, you can have more and more as you build up. But start with one thing. And once it becomes normal and feels good and you're doing it without thinking, then you can potentially add a second. And that's how you build healthy routines.
Like getting my ass out of bed to brush my teeth at the end of the day took me 2 years. And I still struggle some days. Now, what's more likely, instead of forgetting until I'm so exhausted that I can't do it, is that I will remember. So the routine is in there. I'll remember, but I'm still fighting against that instinct of like, oh my God, but I might die on the way.
But you haven't yet, so that's good.
I have not yet died of brushing my teeth. But yeah, so again, don't feel too hard on yourself if this takes a really long time and there's going to be breaks in the routine and you're going to feel bad about. It took me 2 years to get to a place where I go, is there something I'm supposed to be doing right now? Most days. So give yourself some grace. Yeah.
And we are here with our podcast, Dear God, answering your real questions, giving you advice from your aunties, sharing the wisdom.
I do have gray hair. So I'm not wearing my glasses right now, but I also have glasses. I mean, who's wiser than me?
If you would like to potentially have your questions answered and featured on our podcast, you can head on over to our website, houseofgod.com. That is House of God, G-A-H-D, like
high definition.
Or hot dog.
So you can send in those anonymous questions. You can listen to the podcast or watch us on the YouTube, because we look great right now.
Yes, because we are two fabulous drag queens.
Today, we talked about being Canadian, or saying sorry, because that's what we do. We talked about being a bisexical, and we talked about being ADHD. So hopefully at least somebody out there in the marginal communities of sexuality, of psychology, and of being Canadian, hopefully we helped someone.
I feel like somehow this probably represents about a third of queer Canadians in this episode.
Oh, far more than a third. So we want to say thank you to our sponsor for these videos. We are here at the Saint Motel here in Montreal.
This isn't a green screen. Like, look, it's actually a full, you know what? You're going to come on a journey with me just so you can see. Look. It goes all the way up.
All the way up. And they have some fabulous environments that you can do photography, selfies, or you could even do like a work party here. You can book the space and use all of these wonderful locations as you like. So check out Le Saint Motel and tell them Uma and Selma sent you. It won't do anything, but just it'll make us look good.
And it makes you famous by association.
That part. That part.
So thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and share, subscribe, invite your friends to listen and tune in.
Comment. Send in your questions. Comment your questions and send in your comments. And
don't forget to celebrate your delights every day. Find joy, find love, and spread love, because the world is really rough right now.
And on that note, God bless.